and today I will be speaking with Gary Edwards, who for the last 2 decades has been the president of ERS Antenna, which specializes in antenna RF, electromagnetic, and radar industries. Earlier, you brought out such a great point of how there seems to be so many amazing job opportunities in these industries, but the whole hiring process can seem so daunting and can be discouraging at times. I'm sure being a recruiter, you've seen countless people go through this process. Could you walk us through what this process is like and maybe how to make it a little bit easier for the people looking?
Sure, Allie. I assume that a lot of people are constantly submitting job applications through the internet with no response from a human being. And if that's the case, don't feel alone. First, you have to understand how the job application process on the internet works. So I'm going to break it down for you. In this scenario, you submit your resume through one of the major job boards. You upload a resume and you hit the submit button. Is that all there is to finding a new job? The answer is no. Right now, your resume and application has simply found its way through the internet and into an electronic database at the hiring company. And until a human being takes the time, reviews your application, nothing happens. Finally, the human resources manager or a recruiter takes the time to review the applicants and will shortlist the best of the applicants to contact. Well, hopefully one of those best contacts is you. However, if they don't feel that you're one of the best candidates, your phone won't ring, you won't get a Dear John letter, and you'll never know why you weren't contacted for the job in the first place. So dead silence on the other end. Well, next you have to understand that some job postings are a very low priority for the employer, and some postings aren't ready for the interview process to begin because, simply put, the job isn't real. In fact, some hiring companies will broadcast their position in hopes of winning a new contract, but really have no intentions of hiring until they actually win the contract and have an actual need to hire. Worse yet, if the contract is never awarded and the money for the new project doesn't come through, then there becomes no need to interview. Now, this isn't always the case, but this does contribute to the proverbial black hole that we all end up in from time to time, hence dead silence on the other end of your application. So the good news is there's ways to improve your chances of being considered for these jobs rather than submitting and then ending up in that black hole that we just talked about. So understand that since we live in a digital world, landing a new job requires an internet-savvy job seeker who is strategic in their job hunt and knows how to stand out amongst the other dozens of job seekers who are after the same job as you. So for you to stand out and improve your chances of landing the job, keep these 2 points in mind. Number one, only submit your resume for jobs that you're truly qualified for, because I see countless candidates every day who apply for jobs for which they're clearly not qualified for, and this won't land you the job. So be sure that you're qualified for the job first off. Item number 2, there's nothing like spending 10 minutes tweaking your resume specifically to the job in which you're applying for. So if the job requires experience, let's say with phased array antenna development, electromagnetics, and the design of left-handed widgets, then take the time to spell out the fact that you've designed phased array antennas, you understand electromagnetic principles, and you've created left-hand widgets at some point in time in your career. Then when you submit your resume, you'll stand out within the large sea of applicants, and you'll be seen as a candidate who truly has the right skills for the job, rather than the candidate who submits a generic resume and makes the decision maker struggle to find your applicable skills within your resume. So think about it. If the duties of the job are very specific, why wouldn't you spend the extra few minutes tweaking your resume to prove clearly and quickly that your skills are applicable to the job before you submit the resume?
That's
So,
such an interesting point, because I feel like so many people get stuck in the rut of just send out the resume, send out the resume. They tend to forget to really think about who they're talking to, because it seems like that 10 minutes or however long it may take to tweak your resume could really have exponential results for you. That's a really interesting point.
that's true. So yeah, the 10 minutes that you have to spend tweaking your resume is time well spent.
That's very interesting. And that's crazy that some positions may not even have a job opportunity on the other side. That's something that I would not have even thought of. It just seems like there's someone better, they took that person. You don't even imagine that there might not even be a job. So that might help people to take things a little less personally when going through that process, because it can be very daunting at times.
That's right. And hopefully now that you understand a little bit more about how job boards work and how the, at least portions of the interview and submission process work, hopefully you won't get so worked up when there's dead silence on the other end. And even better than that, now that you know what to do to improve your chances, please spend 10 minutes, tweak your resume so that it's more specific and your results will improve.
Very interesting. As always, it was an absolute pleasure getting to speak with you. Thank you so much for really walking through that process and explaining why these things might happen that just seem confusing and intimidating.
Well, thank you, Allie, for having me. I hope this tip will help you land the job of your dreams. And for now, have a fantastic day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.